Hi guys, I'm Steex Audio Media Production. Today I'm gonna show you and test with you the PMC 6. So this monitor, and I have the second here on my desk, has been sent me from Milk Audio Store, and if you are interested in purchasing this unit, you have the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, no additional cost to you, but will support this channel. Thank you. So I know these monitors are amazing, cost a lot, and probably are not for my studio because are too much for me. Yeah, are really too much for me. But I wanna let you listen how they sound because I fell in love. Yeah, they sound really amazing. I never listen any monitor that sounds like this one. Basically, I test with my 𝙬𝙤𝙢𝙢, are the only monitors that I have here and are the monitors, my main monitors that I used for my production. I know that are completely different technologies, different price range of course, but I want to compare anyway the sound so you can listen maybe how this monitor sounds and why these monitors cost a lot, almost more than 7,000 euros. Okay, anyway, I felt in love because when I used in my desk and basically with monitor management, when I listen to my master, I switch A and B to the monitor and listen one to the other pair, and when I switched from the PMC to the 𝙬𝙤𝙢𝙢, oh my god, what is this shit? It was really horrible. So it's really a problem to try out really super high quality gear here in my studio, because when I try out, usually I fall in love and I have no money to keep this really beast of monitors, guys. But I love the 𝙬𝙤𝙢𝙢. Okay, I love the sounds of 𝙬𝙤𝙢𝙢, but compared to these monitors, I don't want to say, but they sound terrible compared to these monitors. Anyway, let's talk about the units, so all the constructions, all the technologies behind these monitors, and then of course I let you listen how this monitor sounds. So the PMC 6 are the smallest studio monitor speaker in the range that PMC currently offers. We are talking about a monitor speaker with only 6-inch woofer, but this shouldn't scare you because the PMC 6 is a near-field monitor speaker with exceptional performance. Are active two-way loudspeakers with ATL technologies, an acronym that stands for Advanced Transmission Line, but we will see this aspect in a moment. The woofer is a 6 inches with a dedicated 200 watts Class D amplifier, while the soft dome tweeter is a 1 inch and again amplified by 200 watts Class D amplifier. The frequency response ranges from 39 Hz up to 25 kHz with an SPL of 180 dB, while continuous we have 108 dB. Frontally we also find the so-called bass reflex, and here the ATL technology intervenes together with the laminar technology owned by PMC. It's a bit complicated to explain because it requires knowledge of wavelengths, resonance, and even fluid dynamics. But my previous studies in energy engineering have allowed me to fully understand everything behind the engineering of the PMC monitors, especially for fluid dynamics. In short, the woofer has an excursion of 2 cm and inside the speaker is hollowed out in order to create a tunnel, a fairly long path inside the speaker, and is completely covered by sound absorbing material that works really great on medium-high frequencies. In this way, the air and also the harmonic content is pushed both by the woofer and the tweeter, but of course more from the woofer, along this path, and the sound absorbing material allows to attenuate the high and medium frequencies, keeping only the low frequencies. And this is the ATL technology in a nutshell. I made it very simple, but believe me, there is a very in-depth technical study behind it. It reminds to mention the laminar technology. Unlike all other monitors, the bass reflex, as you can see, has an honeycomb grid, okay? This geometry is extended inside the monitor and basically is creating channels. In this way, the air is expelled from the monitor in a laminar way, therefore in an orderly way, to make it simple, and not turbulent, and moreover in phase with the woofer. Summing up, these two technologies make it possible to extend the reproduction of low frequencies to obtain bass that only 8 or 10-inch monitors could reproduce. Moving to the rear panel, let me move it. We have an LCD on the top with two encoders useful for fully managing the monitor. Okay, so you can use the parameter and value to switch whatever kind of parameter you want and control everything. We have an input connection that can be switched between analog or digital. We have a digital output, an expansion panel for future connection, and an RJ45 Ethernet socket for remote monitor management. So let's move now to my desk so I can show you how it is easy to manage the monitor remotely with the Ethernet cable. SoundAlign is a great solution to manage your PMC because you don't need any software, and this can work both on Mac, Windows, and whatever kind of machine, because it's not in your machine, but it's basically via IP, okay? It's basically on the clouds. And you have only to write soundalign.local and boom, you can see this view. Here, basically, you can manage everything you can do behind the monitor, so by the LCD, but it's better to sit down on your desk, staying in your sweet spot, continue to listen to the music and to the response of your monitor and changing the parameter. So this is a great solution. As you can see, you have the group filter, so you can place whatever kind of speaker, PMC speaker you have around you. Maybe you are in Atmos solution, Dolby Atmos, you can group something. And as you can see, I have all in a group A. Here there is nothing. And here I can see my two PMC6, the right and the left. The good thing, if you have a lot of speaker around you, like a Dolby Atmos, you can select one, and as you can see, it is now in color green, let me say. If you see now, the logos is blinking in the same color, and now I can recognize that I'm managing that speaker. Okay, if I press another speaker, this is changing the color, and now you can see is blue. Okay, so I can see immediately also by view. Okay, this is really important in my opinion. Then you have the input sources, so you can choose between analog or something digital. The level trim is very important, so you can manage, for example, -6, because you have different monitors and your primary monitors are lower in volume and you want to match because you are doing mastering and listening on different monitors. You can do that. This is really cool. Let's place again to 0. Analog maximum input, you can decide +20 or +24. Position is really important. Let me say, you have a free space, wall or corner. What is the difference? Well, the difference is that depending on the position that you place the monitor is also changing the frequencies also behind the monitors. So if you place a monitor really close to the wall or to the corner, you are emphasizing the bass frequencies, and this is not good. So if you choose corner, for example, and you have placed the monitor on the corner, the bass frequencies will be lowered a bit, okay? And this is really important to do. I place free space because it's not near the wall. Well, it's near the wall, but I have bass trap, so it's not creating any rumble. Desk filter you can place on or off. Basically is cutting some of the bass, but in my opinion it's too much. It's really an hard cut. So I prefer to place it off and then maybe make some equalization that I can show you in a moment. You have the sub filter, you can place active or not and choose the frequencies, and delay and phase. These are really important. Phase, you know what is it. But delays, why delays? Because if you have lots of speaker all around you, thinking about Dolby Atmos, well, maybe the placement of a speaker above you can be farther compared to maybe the speaker that you have here. So you can change to place a delay a bit on the audio so that you can listen all in phase. This is really important for Dolby Atmos. If I go here with the arrow, I can see that I have 2 low shelf that I can do. Parametric, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 different equalization. But if this is too difficult to you to understand where are you, you have also a graph. Here, if you press this one, you can see the parametric equalize. This is random, okay? It's not what I'm using right now. So you can choose maybe to place the parametric 4 and change the curve. You can also change the bell with the rotary here on your mouse, and so on and so forth. So you can do whatever you want, and you can then save. You have the presets here, you can save the presets and load also factory if you create some mess. And then you have also the monitor logo brightness. Basically, I can change the brightness of my logo. Right now is really low. So this is a great solution, in my opinion, to manage all your PMCs. Now let's listen how this monitor sounds. Of course, I'll compare to my Kali audio. I know it's not a fair comparison, but I want to let you listen the difference in sound, in frequency response. I'll use my own songs that you can find on Spotify if you want to support me, so there will be no problem of copyright. And of course, I always used my AKG 451B microphone placed with a stand to reproduce the distance of the ears. So let's listen. Now we come to my impressions, which are certainly positive, super positive. The ATL and laminar technology work great. I was able to find very present low frequencies, not accentuated. Attention, I'm talking about presence, and I can hear very low frequencies and therefore very extended while monitoring with only 6-inch woofer. The high frequencies, I will say fresh, but not annoying. Really fresh. Fantastic medium frequencies, really super linear, but I don't want to dwell too much on the frequency response and so on and so forth, because the main sensation that I had was the spatiality. Being monitors also designed for Dolby Atmos, they have an incredible, indescribable depth of sound. It has like having two monitors frontally, but the sound that I'm receiving is from 360, so all around me, really immersive sound. Thanks also to the not so narrow projection of the sound. These monitors have larger reproduction, so you can also move in your space, in your studio without too much changing in sound. This is really great if you have rack on your studio and you have to move to mix, of course. So super enveloping and immersive sounds, great sound diffusions, guys. I can distinguish all the instruments very well, and the voice has its own position, which is very useful in the mix. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Milk Audio Store to grant me this unit to try out. If you are interested, you have the link in the description to purchase. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.